Hi YouTube, welcome back. This is a bit of a stopgap video. If I'm honest, I'm just wasting time. The engine project is on hold at the moment. I'm waiting on that guy to come and assess what I've done on the engine so far, and more importantly, look at my designs for an engine frame and hopefully help me build it. He's just really busy, to be honest. It's not his fault, but he does keep cancelling. And it's getting to the point now where I'll probably give it another couple of goes, but there's only so many times you can pester someone before you just feel really needy, which I am, but that's not the point. I don't want to come across that way. If I can't get him pinned down in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have to sack it off and look at plan B, which I guess is going back to building the frame myself. Maybe I can rope Andy in for a bit of help. We'll see. In the meantime, I've been doing a few housekeeping jobs, sorting out some stuff for zinc plating and bits and bobs. But the main job I've done is I thought I'd get the Glovebox minibar Mk3 completely finished. About a couple of weeks ago, I received the custom piece that I asked GDK to make for me while they were doing all my veneers, which is in a previous video, I think the second to last video that I've uploaded. I asked them if they would be able to make me a custom piece for when the glove box comes down for the glasses to sit on. And yeah, it was a bit of trial and error. It took them a bit longer than I think they would have liked. So thank you very much, guys, for sticking with it. But what they've created is just perfect. And it really adds something, really finishes off anyway, the glove box build. Previous attempts that I've done have been a little bit homemade and clumsy, and now it just looks really cool. So I'm very happy with that. I think this video starts with that custom piece and then my trial and error process, as it always is with this glove box, because it's just a homemade mess, to be honest, of cables and wires and limit switches. But yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy seeing the process and the end result. It took quite a few designs to get this Jaguar XJS make the glove box posher plate correct. This is about the third attempt, I think. The first one was made out of aero ply and it just kept warping. They then, I can't remember why he said, but they tried making it out of steel and then didn't. And they thought that would help me. Actually, steel, in theory, because this is a magnet, obviously, and I wanted to stick to that, would have been great, because then I wouldn't have needed magnets underneath. But there was a reason why they didn't go for the steel option. Can't remember what it was. Anyway, we've got aluminium, so obviously, without any magnetic help, my whiskey glasses will not do the sticking to the plate thing. However, I'm keeping them very separate, by the way, because these are terrifying. These have a 9 or is it 12 kilogram pull on them. Plan is, I haven't tested this yet, so I'm hoping this works. These are the holes for the LED lights. The plan is to have the glass sitting something like that, so that the light will just shine up behind it. I'll have to test that in the car, obviously. So I'm going to fix these magnets into whatever position they need to be to hold the glasses exactly where I want them. I need to get rid of whatever this manufacturer, this must have been part of the manufacturing process. Get rid of that. I'm going to make a little frame for them, because even though they'll be glued down with some sort of super duper glue like araldite or whatever, there's a chance that over time that glue might come loose. These might pull off and want to snap together. So let's do a test. And which way around does it go? That way. What I'm looking for is to see that the glasses will stay put when I'm driving along, but also when I close the glove box, the glasses are like this, and I don't want them sliding down and rolling off into the glove box. I managed to do it before with the previous design, So hopefully it's the same. I don't actually know which way around I should mark on these magnets, which is the scary side and the non-scary side. Oh, I can tell already that's the scary side. Well, that's feeling pretty good. I'm going to try my best not to, Jesus, not to slide the glasses about too much at this stage. Anyway, well, that that's even better than I thought it would be. I just need to make sure how much clearance I've got under here in the actual... I've got one here actually, somewhere. No, I've put them all up. No, I haven't. Here it is. Yeah, this is one I'm not using. Can't remember why I discarded this one. Whatever. Yeah, I've only got so much room in here once that's on, like so. What happened there? I was going to say, I hope there's not... Oh, is there metal in here? Is that stuck down there now? What's going on? Ah, okay. Yeah. So, another reason I need a frame, I've just realised, is... let me just... God, I don't know what's going to happen here. These magnets are a bit terrifying. There we go. What it's done there is pulled itself off the bottom of the piece of wood and attached itself to that, because that is metal as well. I'm just running a bit of a test here. So I think that's where I want the glasses. It's a bit hard to see there, but I've just sat them... Oh, actually, you can just see in the glass. Just sat them just offset to the hole, and that seems to be illuminating them as best I can. I think I may have mentioned previously, or maybe this is the first time I've said it, because I do that a lot. I'd rather have crystal cut glasses, and much later when I'm finished doing other jobs, I may try and get some bespoke crystal cut glasses made with magnets inset. I've tried too many times now to stick the magnets to the bottom of fancy crystal cut glasses, and it just causes way more issues than it's worth. This is great because the magnets are inset in the glasses. The downside is they're just plain glass, so the effect of the illumination isn't as great as I'd like, but I can maybe address that later. I need to keep them clean, don't they? Once they're illuminated, you can see all my greasy finger marks. That's looking pretty good to me. It's now just a case of fitting it and just checking how those lights work. Ooh, that was close. It's many hours later. I didn't film all of my faffings about. I gave up on that polystyrene frame idea, mainly because after about 10 attempts of building that, putting it in, then realising the magnets needed to be a millimetre that way, doing it all again, realising the magnets needed to be a millimetre that way, I got bored. In the end, what I did was super glue the magnets to the back of the bit of metal. I cut a grommet up, put a grommet on the top of each one to use as insulation against the magnetism, and then duct taped the fuck out of it so they wouldn't move anywhere. It'll do for now. If I hear them moving about later on, then I can always revisit it. I'm going to have to do a bit of fettling anyway. This glove box lid doesn't come completely flat at the minute. That's easily adjusted with the cables. I'm not bothered about that right now. And also my lights, I don't know why I'm pointing there, you can't see, but the lights aren't turning off at the minute because this push switch here doesn't actually reach far enough. I'm going to fettle that later as well. But, oh, and also one other thing before I show you, I'm pissed off. I bought 2 LEDs, warm white, soft white, and the twats have sent me one shade and one another, unless it's something to do with how the voltage gets to one or the other, because I've tapped it off both the set. I don't know how LEDs work, but I don't think it's that. I think they've just sent the wrong, well, or not a pair rather. Anyway, ignoring that, I'd call that a success. As you can just see, we've got kind of cool white over here and warm white over here. That's what I want, and I'd like this to sit kind of there. So it just needs adjusting there. That's also not brandy. I deliberately went out and bought a cut glass jar. That's not a jar. A cut glass. What the fuck is that called? Bottle. I couldn't remember that. Yeah, a cut glass bottle so that it diffuses the light. Hopefully, I was hoping it was a screw top because I want to reuse that once I've drunk whatever I bought. What did I actually buy? The Lake's vodka liqueur salted caramel flavour. That sounds utterly disgusting. There's only one way to find out, actually. Why didn't I think of that? Oh, let's see what this monstrosity tastes like. Yeah, I was hoping it was a screw top, but it's not. Hopefully it's completely watertight. Okay, let's just pop that back on. I might not leave it in there long term. It's more for show anyway. Let's just pop that. There's a bit of a design flaw here. To get your bottle in and out, you need to remove the glasses. Anyway, cheers. Oh God, it's like drinking flavoured petrol. Gonna order some new LED lights, flip it up and just wire in some new lights. Or hopefully maybe just one, if I get one that matches that cool white. Because that looks really nice and that just looks silly. And it's not the I forgot that was full of stuff. Let's just drink that. It's no better the second time round. Yeah. It's definitely not the glass, it's definitely the light. I'm really pissed off about that. Anyway. I need to finish that, don't I? I can't shut the door thing. Oh, I really don't want to drink it. I just need to adjust this switch. It only needs to press very, very lightly, so hopefully I'll be able to put some sort of extension on there that will touch on here. I'm not quite sure how to do it yet, so that it doesn't damage the veneer. Maybe a rubber extension or something. I've had to admit defeat with this switch. Well, not defeat, but I'm going to have to get another one of these, whatever it's called, Glovebox inner liners. Just ordered one from Simply Performance. They had one in stock, so that's good because there weren't any available last time I ordered another one of these. Because I butchered my first one, this is my second one. What I've realised is I've cocked up. I should have put, either I had to get a switch with a longer prong, which would look a bit silly. What I should have done is put the switch down here, or maybe I can find another way of doing it so that some of the moving parts inside. Maybe off the actuator. I don't know. Could just press that in at the same time as it's pressing that limit switch. That would actually be easier if I can rig up some sort of bracket for that. And then I don't have anything visible here. The lights will just go off when it does the closing thing. The only other thing I would quite like to do is create some sort of... Oh, hang on, I need some light. There we go. Just create some sort of edging, maybe, for this edge here. I can't do it one-handed, but this just looks a bit scruffy. I'm not sure what was in here originally, but it'd be nice if that had something screwed into it. Yeah, there's some more screw holes. There's one there and one there, so I could certainly have a plate running across there. I'm just going to switch over to voiceover mode. So what you're looking at there is the original actuator setup. It's a massive bodge of hot glue, wires, cable ties. It's a mess. I decided it was time I upgraded that. It's worked for many years. I think I'll show you in a sec when I stop moving the camera about. The actuator comes out. All it has to do is make contact very, very lightly with that, and it stops at the desired position. And I was adjusting it by bending that metal bracket in and out. I decided to make a new bracket. So this is my new creation. I actually reused that stop-start, well, not stop-start switch. I don't know what you call that kind of switch, but it pushes in, cuts the power. When it releases, it lets the power back on. That's the one I was going to use for the lights, but I had to come up with something new for the lights. I also upgraded to this new actuator remote control computer type thing from Gimson Robotics. I've been using their stuff for years. It's worked absolutely flawlessly. I kind of wanted a new remote fob, and this came with a new remote fob. That's pretty much the reason for replacing it. All you do is connect your 12 volt power in, like I'm doing there. Then you've got this limit switch wiring all preordained. I don't know what I'm saying. On the circuit board, comes with it all pre-wired to a connector. You need to make a loop if you're not using one of the limit switches, which I'm not. So that's me just doing some very amateur soldering. So once that's looped, it's a simple case of plugging it back in and sending the limit switch wires in and out of a hole that they've very handily put for you on the side. So that's nice. So I just put that in the wrong way, didn't I? Yes, I did. So that sits nicely in there. Pop the top back on. And then I can't remember what the next video bit's going to be. Oh, that's just showing you the wiring. So you've got your 12 volt in, and then you've got your 12 volt going out to the actuator there. So that's that wired up. Oh yeah, then I used a load of these waterproof automotive switches just so that everything this time was removable. I'll be honest, last time I did this, everything was just twisted together, wires. I did it properly this time. Oh yeah, then my cat came and whinged at me for food. So I followed him to the house and then gave him a little stroke. And then back to it. Not entirely sure why I filmed putting a connector on. I'm sure you all know how to do that. Maybe I'll cut this bit out. I don't know. In which case I don't really need to be talking right now, do I? I need to try and pair the remote now to the unit so that when I press that, it goes up. If I press that, it stops. And if I press that, it goes down or opens. I guess I can choose which one of those. I think up and down would make sense. We'll press that to open. It'll reach its limit and stop. I can then do what I like, sit and drink out of my glove box. I can then close it, which will release the limit switch. So as I mentioned earlier, I used my light switch as my limit switch. That meant rigging up a new light limit switch, which is what this purpose-made bracket's for. That I attached in a very specific way to the box so that when the glove box opens and closes, the arm that's being pulled down by the cable interfered with it and made the switch do its switch thing. I've just wired up the LEDs for the backlit glasses. They are now a matching pair. So my plan is just to pop them in place and dab some hot glue around the outside of them. And then hopefully I can screw the veneer down. Hopefully I've got enough room here for this, this connector and the wiring and things. I think there's enough room in here. And then we can see it done. So I'm actually pretty much done, but in my true OCD fashion, I can't leave it alone. I've never been particularly happy with this. It's got another one over there. That's fine. That's nice and straight. I can live with that. It was part of the first build I did actually 10 years ago. Facebook Memories has just reminded me by showing me a video of a sort of prototype first build 10 years ago. And one of the first things I did was build this sort of rudimentary frame. I can't remember what was here before or what wasn't here that meant I needed this. I think I deleted something and I needed structure. Anyway, I used this and it's done its job very well. But if I was to pull hard on here, which actually when the actuator comes in and out, because it's such a powerful actuator, it does kind of flex the whole thing. And this actually bends very slightly each time. So I'm thinking now with a little bit of age and wisdom, I reckon I can probably fabricate something that will slot in there, have rigidity up to here, slot in there and still allow the attachment, where is it? There, for the cable inlet outlet type affair. So I'm going to give that a go now. If you watch this bit here, as I move this about, which this shouldn't move basically, you can just see this flexing up and down very slightly because this isn't rigid, it's got flexibility in it. So really I want that to stay exactly there. By the way, when I'm in here at night and the door's closed, I don't really like opening the garage door because it's really noisy. I can't get round the front because of the way I've got the car parked and my bike and stuff. So what I do is I crawl under here like some sort of... Oh, I just hit my head because I've got my camera on. Yeah, some sort of crazy garage soldier training. So this is what I came up with eventually. I couldn't be asked filming it because it was a pure trial and error. This bit, for example, is an error because I thought I could fit the bracket that's here on the side. That didn't work. It messed everything up. The other thing is, because I've refitted cables and I've really messed them up this time, I will put some new cables in with some nice tidy ends at some point, but I've got it set just right at the moment, so I don't want to undo those. Because I put new cables in and realigned everything, the limit switch wasn't reaching far enough, so I've just made this specifically lengthed extension. So that's quite cool because it only needs to touch it very lightly, but I can adjust the limit switch by putting a longer or shorter thing on there. So that's quite handy instead of my old method of bending the metal in and out, which was it's just a bit crap, wasn't it? This is now totally solid. It doesn't move at all. Neither does this. So mission accomplished there. What else did I have to change? Oh yeah, my little limit switch for the lights, which what that does is it catches the back end of this arm as it closes, and that's a very specific point. And again, because I'd changed a few things, it just wasn't locating, so I had to manipulate that bracket that I'd made and move it about a bit. but I've got it set up again. I've also got everything on connectors, which just makes it easier if I want to remove the underscuttle assembly. So we've got our, well, at the moment I've got external power coming in, so that's just off a battery. I put a tiny pathetic fuse, like a 5 amp one in, just to be safe, because I did have a little bit of a fire. I forgot how electricity worked and wired up a switch red to black. That was fun. I just wasn't paying attention, and of course all the wires got really hot because what I'd done is created a short circuit. So after that I thought I'd better protect the new loom that I'd kind of made for this by putting a fuse in line. Obviously when it's connected up to the main car electrics, I will do the same. So if there's any issue ever, the first thing that will go is a tiny little fuse. But I've had no issues since I stopped wiring things as a short circuit, funnily enough. But you know, mistakes were made, it's fine. Yeah, that's my limit switch connector, that's the actuator, and this is power going into the lights. And then we've got our power connecting into the actuator, no, into the, sorry, remote control box. That goes to the actuator, that goes to the limit switch. You'll have I think an ambient in-car temperature sensor here. I had to remove that years ago when I started prattling about with this. I've always meant to relocate it somewhere in the car. I can't even remember where the wiring is for it now, to be honest. Don't really know. It's never made a difference to my heating. I always run my heating in manual anyway because I like to control it. But I guess if you had it in auto, it would need that temperature sensor. I really wonder where the wiring is for that. Anyway, I'll look into that later. And yeah, so let's get this clicked back on there. Oh, by the way, I broke yet another one of these. Well, to be fair to them, I've been popping them on and off for, well, 10 years. Faffing about with this Glovebox project, and inevitably one of them's broken. I've given Octo Classic another chance to redeem themselves. They 3D print exact replicas of them. They feel about the same sort of flexibility. I'm not going to press that too hard. Just after I'd committed to buying a set of these from Octo Classic, because they sell them in a set of 2, massively overpriced by the way, because Octo Classic have the market share at the minute because no one else is doing this as far as I'm aware, so they could charge what they want. I remembered, and I don't know why I didn't remember this before, my stepson does 3D printing. So I gave him an unbroken one and he scanned it in, and about 15 minutes later came down with these. So that's a real win for modern technology. That's going to be great going forward. Any silly little bits that break, which, you know, obviously this is no good for printing engine parts and exhaust manifolds. That's not going to happen. But the sort of day-to-day things like the bezels, your little clips and stuff that hold things in, I may be able to get those 3D printed here at home. In fact, I've just remembered where the battery cover, those little turnbuckle clips. I wonder if you could print me a couple of them, because they're pretty gnarled, because they, after a few years of turning them in and out, they erode. So what we do is get this located, connect up the relevant connectors. So that's the actuator, and we've got the power in. I'll do that in a minute. Got the limit switch here. Are we the right way around? Yeah. Just forgot to bring the power in. Right, that's it powered up. Just tucking that down behind there for now. Get this lined up and closed, so there's nothing fouling that now. I've found a specific place for the remote control box to sit where it doesn't foul on anything. Obviously this is missing its clip at the minute, but that will be held in nicely. So when I connect this one up, we should see, if I touch that, we should see the lights come on. Yeah. So we're all powered up there. Oh, by the way, I'm experimenting with different bottles. I kind of want brandy in there, but I'm thinking I might prefer how that white bottle that you saw earlier was sitting in there. Certainly didn't like how that tasted. I would much prefer how that brandy tasted. But as it's pretty much for show, yeah, we'll just see. Oh, by the way, I didn't actually mention it, but I did fabricate a polished metal plate finisher for the top here. I also found there's 2 screws that actually screw in at the bottom as well, so that helps to tidy up the bottom edge, which you don't really see very much with all this, but just if you're doing your glove box yourself and it's all a bit flappy, yeah, there's screws here and here. Obviously there'll be stuff holding in the lock in your standard glove box, and then there's 2, one here and one here, that sort of hold the bottom down. Anyway, assuming my limit switch and cables are all how I left them the other day, this should close all lovely, and I've got it pretty much set how I want at the moment. So I'd call that a resounding success. Very happy with that project. That's that finished. I've also got some brilliant news. In between filming the intro clip and this clip, the guy who I wanted to come around and look at my engine has done so, and he's given it the all clear. I'll show you in the next video what I was concerned about, and I'll also explain, because he's a bit more of an expert on the Jaguar V12. Well, I say an expert, he's built 3 or 4 of them, so it's just experience. He showed me what to look out for. I'll explain that. Also, he's had a look at my designs for an engine stand, and he's gone away to price it up. So some progress on that. Hopefully in the next video, we'll be building that stand and moving the engine over onto it. And then things are going to start happening quite quickly with the engine, I hope. So I'll see you then in the next video. Thanks for watching.